And welcome back to. There we go. And welcome back to Low Energy Videos, where we're doing something a little different. We are joined by Marshall Manson.
Hello, hello, hello. To quote Jim Carrey. How you doing?
You went with a Jim Carrey quote. Okay, interesting opening.
Well, you don't like Jim Carrey? What's wrong with Jim Carrey, Low Energy? What's
Whoa,
wrong with Jim
incredibly
Carrey?
defensive on Jim Carrey. Nothing actually. I've always I always loved him as a kid, but now that I'm a few years older, I don't like the stuff I liked him as a kid as much as I liked some of his more outlandish stuff. I liked his what was it, The Greatest Showman?
Yeah, I like some of his weird shit too. I hate how everyone shit on that guy for Cable Guy back when that happened because I actually think it's one of his
Yeah,
better movies.
that was a
But anyways,
low point. Although now that I look at it, that's a movie that could work. That could have worked really well.
I just honestly, the thing I hate the most about that movie is Matthew Broderick's fucking face
Well,
the
it's
whole
Matthew
time.
Broderick. He's hard to like at the best of
He-
times.
yeah.
Uh, In Living Color is badass. Yeah, but is it badass because of him? Or is he just the only? Wasn't he like the only white guy there?
Yeah, but I think that made his performance a little more endearing. I think he contributed nicely to it, but I wouldn't say it rocked because of him for sure. But I mean, some of his bits were fucking hilarious, bro. Like his Mister Rogers bit. There's a fucking bit where he gets hypnotized to be a chicken, but then the guy has a heart attack and dies, and he's stuck like that for the
Oh,
rest of his life. Dude,
I
that was
saw.
brilliant.
There we go. The chat's working now. I saw. I think it was Nostalgia Critic do a retrospective on him, and he mentions
Oh,
the
I saw
chicken
that.
bit,
Yeah.
and because you see, Living Color never reached over here. I mean, SNL never reached over here really. So I only get to know about these things like retroactively or secondhand.
Hmm.
But I heard he had some stand-up moments. Now, of course, most people my age. Wait a minute, we're not talking about Jim Carrey. We're talking about you. Welcome back to the Jim Carrey podcast.
That vampire bastard, he's everywhere.
He can make you laugh with a mere flailing of his limbs. Never say shit bad about Jim Carrey around Marshall. He will lose it on. Yeah, I noticed. Oh, is that where he got that face from? Is that where he got the face from for the picture? Someone talking shit about Jim Carrey.
Yeah, I just lost it, man.
Yeah.
This is the impetus for
Ace
my whole
Ventura
career.
wasn't great. You just give him death eyes.
I'm gonna cut. Red. I'm gonna stitch my face to my ass and then do the Ace Ventura bit, and then just to show my dedication.
Was it the second one where he ended up the girl got caught out being having a dick, and he kept on like stripping her, and he's like, look, see, and like it's increasingly obvious it's a woman until eventually, she's got it tucked behind her.
Yeah, you can see a nice bulge tucked by. See, today that's like hot, like
not that, like that was really transphobic.
Yeah, what, and you know what, like, I know it was I'm pretty sure a cis actress, but like, just for the sake of the film, suspending disbelief, that's a pretty banging trans chick. Good on her.
Yeah.
Hell, I mean, she may have been crazy trying to kill people and all,
better
but
than Naked Gun anyway. Naked Gun 3 with Anne Nicole Smith having a crying game level of dick. I bet TJ would have liked that.
Oh god, dude.
So between Jim Carrey and trans girls with giant ass ding dongs, we are actually here to talk about something that probably a lot of you have already seen, but newsflash, I haven't. I haven't seen the music video yet. I want to leave it raw. I want to be a virgin, ready to be popped live on screen for you.
Yeah, I'm happy you did that. I can't wait to hear your live reaction to it for sure. We put a whole lot of work into it, and I'm really proud of it. And thank you so much for letting me come on here and
Not at
play it for
all.
everybody.
Like, I've been we've known each other for a few years now, and I I've been it's been really cool that like you put so much effort into your work. So I, for one, am really pumped to see how this is going to pan out once I find the damn thing. There it is.
Thank you, man.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off my mic and turn off yours as well, just for you guys, so you guys can watch this without any interruptions, and then we can go back and like cherry pick over different parts of it.
Oh, perfect. Cool.
So yeah, let's just bring it up so you guys can see it, and we can get stuck in. Background off. Okay. Oh no. Yeah, that's fine. But I just didn't want to use the scene. Don't even need that on. So yeah, let's mute ourselves and dive right in.
still here. Yes. Thank you. I appreciate. I probably should have given a trigger warning. I'm sorry. Um,
Well,
it's pretty
ironically
out
enough,
there.
the only two things I would have been more worried about is, well, in general, maybe, yeah, but I mean, you didn't do any flashing lights and you didn't do any needles, so I don't complain.
Cool.
No, no, that was pretty cool. There was some really great camera work in that music video. Um, and I liked the effect of going into the eye and then going into the other eye. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, I thought of that at a fucking outside of Starbucks. We were like kind of stranded for a little
Where
bit,
all
and
great ideas come from.
yeah, and but yeah, all the camera work in that is actually done by my wife. She fucking murdered it. She
She's in
was
the
the
chat right
MVP
now.
that day. Oh, sweet. Yeah, she killed it. She fucking drove everywhere. She did all the camera work. She got everywhere we needed to be. So I mean, she really kicked a lot of ass, and I think she deserves to be appreciated for that.
Amen to that. Um, so I really like the beat, and I really like the video and such. It definitely sounds like you,
Thank you.
but
Yeah.
it's I. It sounds like you've maybe expanded a little bit on what you normally do. A little bit.
Yeah, that's the thing about all the new material is it's. I mean, there's that flavor of stuff I've done before, but my new shit is very, in my opinion, it's just kind of transcended to like a different level. Like I kind of look at my first album and a lot of the projects that are public right now, just kind of like practice almost. Like I was just kind of figuring it out because I started just with instrumental music, like electronic music. So it was kind of a transition to learn to really produce and just to write vocal music.
Um, so break it down. Like, how long has this been in the works for so far? Now that
I
it's
would say
dropped.
technically since I was 14, because I have been mulling around the idea of a super violent video, like pretty much since I've been making music. Um, but in this form, in this incarnation where I was actually like trying to figure out what I wanted to do, it was probably about a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago, that I decided this is what I wanted to do. So I mean, this has been just a lot of planning, a lot of research ever since then. Because I didn't know anything about directing at all, or editing or anything. So I had to learn completely from scratch.
Okay. Uh, I'm guessing you've gotten help from people on this one. I noticed uh, what was it? Nickel Wise, was it?
Yeah, it's my friend Kid Wizard. He's Nickel Wise in the video, and if you go to the description of it, you can see his link down there. And he also makes music, which is on Spotify, I believe, under the same name.
Um, Now I remember a good while ago, late last year, start of next year, you were um, you were saying how you wouldn't compromise your art and you didn't care what people would think about in terms of the video. And I'm guessing this is what the trigger warning is for down here. Um, but you haven't run across any any major backlash from it or anything like that, have you?
No, I mean the response has been overwhelmingly positive, which I really am so happy for. I mean everyone in the communities that we hang around with has been really awesome, and a lot of our friends have promoted it, and I really greatly appreciate just how awesome everybody's been. And I knew they would be. They have my back, and they made that clear to me. And basically what happened was there was a promotional network that I was going to go with, that was always the plan to go with, because to me it seemed like a logical fit. They post artists that are very much like in the same vein as like this song, a lot of trap metal and things like that. And occasionally they do, yeah, they post like live videos that are really, edgy and punk, and it really shocked me when they didn't take it. I don't know how. It seemed like such a logical fit to me that I literally never even stopped to consider that it was never I never even had a contingency for that, because it just blew my mind. And friends I have that have worked with that network before couldn't even believe it.
What was
So
their reasoning behind it? Like, did they tell
they
you, or?
wouldn't they wouldn't tell me. The only thing I can assume is that they're kind of concerned about graphic imagery, or maybe they just really didn't like it. I don't know, but it really wouldn't make sense to me because it's so in line with the kind of content that they post. And so yeah, so I initially sent them a message like, well, I could like I had some ideas on how to like make it a little more tame, and then I was like, you know what, no, like fuck this, like I'm not gonna change this for anybody. Like this is what it is. And it brought back a lot of old feelings for me when I was like coming up, producing music, where in those times, a lot, if you didn't know people, your key into tapping into new audiences was these promotional networks, and nothing has changed. They still hold this like monopoly that is really biased, in my opinion. It's a lot of these creators, or not even creators, don't make anything. A lot of these uh distributors, I guess you could call them, kind of are like, do I personally like this, or how do I personally feel about this, and not like, what would my audience think about this, or is maybe I don't like this, but this is well produced, is high quality content, so whatever, I'll put it at, that you don't get breaks from these people. And it sucks from my end, but it sucks from every other artist I've known that has gone through this ringer, especially if you talk to electronic artists. And it really fucking sucks. So another thing I said in those tweets was that I eventually want, when I have the means and the funds to do so, I really want to make a platform, an actual feasible platform, not behind a paywall, not behind any weird shit, that can really provide some kind of step in the door for people to find new audiences. And I want to bring in algorithmic experts. I want to bring in marketing, promotional experts. I want to bring in everyone I can bring in, I think would have some kind of expertise on how to build that. But that's obviously distant future. I got to build this house of cards first.
Yeah, I didn't realize that the networks were still relevant, considering the only real networks I know will be the networks related to creators, like not musical creators, but like streaming and the like, the old
Hmm.
hidden boots, the old channel awesomes, if you will, or whatever people like Penguin Z Zero used to critical. He used to be a part of. I didn't know that musicians still had the same problem, but it does sound the same. Like, you're going to be, unless you know someone like really closely who can get you in through the door. I can imagine it's hard to get any sort of notoriety. So it's pretty cool that you're trying to promote a sort of like an end goal for like a platform that could help a lot of people out. Though I can imagine it's going to come with a lot of hurdles. Um,
Yeah,
the
I
most obvious probably being financial.
yeah. I don't know what I'm gonna do yet. I'm gonna bring in as many people who are knowledgeable about this sort of thing as I can, because, like, I think the closest thing to what I'm envisioning is Spotify,
Mm,
which Spotify is really cool, and its algorithm has done a lot of great things for people I know personally. It's completely set new plateaus for their careers. But Spotify isn't without its problems. It, like, you have to kind of kick a lot of ass, but first, before it can actually start multiplying what you're getting. Like once you hit a certain point, it's great. But what I'm envisioning is a brand new person who's talented can get right out there, get some. You know how many great songs and videos there are out there that no one ever watches, and that they put a lot of time that are really good that would do well exposed to a large audience, especially like, I mean, like back in the early days of YouTube, it was feasible
Oh, sure, because
to
it wasn't
build a
as
career
saturated.
here. Yeah, I mean, like, I'm not just saturation. I mean, now social media networks are so hostile to creators. All of them are.
Hey,
If
yeah, I mean,
it's
YouTube, this
ridiculous.
very platform we're on, is monitoring some key words that if we were to say would make this video next to impossible for a lot of people to see, especially if I was
Mhm.
a bit bigger. I mean, YouTube's a piece of shit, but like Twitch isn't any better. Then there's no real comparison, really. Like, there's nothing really else you could do. Oh, have you ever thought about going on a World Star?
Yeah, I actually did contact them initially, and I do still plan to actually work with WorldStar at some point. But it's a very costly, very it's a big investment, but it's well worth it. But that's something that will happen in the future. I will get on WorldStar because I do have more videos in the bank. The next video I'm really really excited for. It's done. So yeah, I mean it'll happen eventually. But
Uh,
that's that thing. That's the thing I was talking about, right? Not behind a paywall because I love WorldStar and I love what they do, and I understand why they do what they do. But I mean, their heat seekers price is out of this world. Like no average person has that sitting around. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. Like, here's something I can tell anyone right now who doesn't stream in the slightest, for whatever reason, even if it's just like you don't even just do it once as a joke and then to stop. Um, if you don't know anything about it, never believe just because you make it, it will become popular.
Yeah, I say that all the time. Yes,
Yeah,
that's a lie that they tell a lot of creators, and maybe because in a certain time that was true, but
oh yeah, there
that is
was a
not true.
time, and again, it was because like it was smaller, there was less regulations, and the algorithm wasn't even a thing.
Mhm.
Um, but
People used to, and that's what I was saying. People used to pick what they like, and a lot of these sites seem to have it in their heads that they're going to tell you what you should like, and that's another reason why I want to make this video successful. You know, they, it's no one should tell you what you like. You should decide what you like, and I think
and
this
if
will
you
be a
don't
perfect
know, you
example.
should be the one that goes into those new directions. I mean,
Mhm.
going back here to YouTube, like the trending tab is the most cookie cutter plasticky safe thing ever.
Mhm.
But you know, that's not our YouTube. Like, that's
No,
that our
it's a
YouTube
shell.
is like people who put a lot of personal stuff out there, a lot of like really passionate stuff out there. And I'm not throwing shade at those people who are um like the big names out there, because they put a lot of passion in it too, but they've already kind of drank from the Kool-Aid, so to speak. Like
Yeah.
and they're old hacks at it. You never get to see these unless it's 100% like um, marketable factor. You never get to see new people come in. Um, so yeah, the uh, the idea of having like a safe space to put yourself out there is brilliant, and I can imagine it would have some appeal to smaller risk taking like labels and shit like that, or just investors, because um, it'll be an untapped market. But of course, you're gonna have to get that all set up first. So, but back to the music video. Um, I've never been huge into music. Like, I've never been the like it has never been me. It's never been my world. I've never been great at it. So I'm gonna ask: did you sample anything?
Yeah, this guitar in this song is a sample that I found, and there are sites that provide musicians with like royalty free samples for people to use. So I heard that and instantly knew I could do something fucking cool with it. So I love the hell out of that sample.
Okay.
But not all of it. I mean, like those higher pitch, like new metally synths you hear, like I made those. Um, it's been a while.
Oh, I've been
But
wondering, where did you film it at?
this was filmed in Toronto, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, they're all around like Toronto in different parts. We had like some in like Scarborough, some in Oakville, some like in downtown. Like that bridge is actually a really cool decommissioned bridge in downtown Toronto. That whole area was like really awesome for spots.
I'd love to go there when I was in when I was in photography in college. Like looks like so many cool places to go and take pictures of. Um, no, this is a cool thing. I even love the wardrobe. I love that thing on your hand. What the hell is that?
I saw Facebook advertised one of those to me, right? And I was like, wow, that's really fucking cool. And I don't know why I was just like, fuck it, I'm gonna put this in the video. And I was so right. Like I had a friend who was like, "Are you sure you want to?" Because I had to go through hell to get them at first because I couldn't find them. And my friend was like, "Why are you doing all this shit for these skeleton hands?" I'm like, "You don't understand. This has to be in the video." And fuck, was I right, dude? People have been DMing me about those things, commenting about them. Everyone loves those fucking hands.
Yeah, I don't blame them. Although now I pictured you like in a bathrobe and like a sort of like shower cap, slamming your fists on the table. This is my artistic vision.
Yeah.
Paid off though.
Oh yeah, totally. I can get that I can get that way, like not slamming my hands on the table and shit, but I can get like anxious, like I remember the second shooting day, I did kind of have like I was like I'm not feeling this. I can't like I'm not feeling this setting or whatever. So we completely scrapped like all kinds of shit. But the first day though went really well. Everyone we all got along great in person, and like literally nothing went wrong. Almost, anyways, other than some technical problems, nothing went wrong the whole day. It was really awesome.
How long did it take you to film?
This so all the bits where I've already cut my face off, and, like walking around town shit, that was all one day.
Oh,
We just kind of went speed running all around all the locations we had in mind, and then we went back and filmed some of the other shit a second day, and I was up super late working on it.
do you know the guy who is in the "Where's My Hose At" shirt?
That's Kid Wizard. That's the same guy in the
Oh,
clown
okay.
mask, actually. Yeah, that was
I
his
thought
idea.
I'm not gonna lie. First time I saw him, I'm like, isn't that the guy who used to work with Jeff Holiday on that podcast?
Yeah,
um,
he's cool, dude.
yeah, I'd have loved to work on something like this. I did it like years and years and years ago. I did like a film project. I think it's still on YouTube. It's called like Among the Reeds or something like that. And I was a cameraman, so I kind of know. I kind of know like the gist of it. You were but the fact you got this all done in one day is brilliant.
Thank
Like,
you, man. Yeah, we did a lot of planning to make sure that we could go out there and just get everything we needed. And like I was a bit irresponsible actually, because when you're directing shit, you're supposed to keep a shot list with you so you don't forget. But I had
mm,
just gone over this shit so many times in my fucking head that I literally had the shot list in my head, but I still should have written it down because I almost forgot a couple things. Like, thank God.
was there any interesting, like crazy moments that happened during the shoot? Like someone came up and asked why you were filming, or a homeless person started screaming at you.
Well, it's so funny because I was so consumed in like the creative end of everything and making sure everything was fine. I never even stopped to think like I'm walking around in public like this. Like I just never even thought about the reactions of people. I don't know how. I don't know. So yeah, like it started off really well actually. Like we went to shoot some of those turnover scenes where like the camera comes up through the ground and like this is I remember this. It's on camera actually. We're gonna do some behind the scenes at some point. This lady like
Oh,
drives by and
brilliant! I
she's
love
like,
them.
"That looks amazing." It was like really cool, and like people were like driving up next to the car to like see my face and shit. And I remember like when we were in the more preppy areas, there was a lot of like kids around. So like we'd be walking by a kid, I'm like hiding my face because I don't want to traumatize some poor kid. Uh, but eventually, I actually had an anxiety attack that day. That was probably the only like low point of the day, is because I just like could not deal with the attention. It, like really actually bothered me. I had to go sit in the car somewhere because
Shit.
I felt everyone's eyes on me. In It's different. Like if you're on stage, I enjoy that. But if like I'm out in public, especially if I'm trying to be like in a creative headspace, it's very personal. Like it was just very anxiety inducing.
Where did the inspiration come? I'm looking here for when you're offered the cigarette packet. Like, where did that come from?
That is a so Nickel Wise is a he is my mental illness, and one of the points that is um, one of the points that is brought about in the story is how, for me personally, I can only talk about my personal experience. My mental health has manifested in ways that are negative in my life, and I guess the cigarettes are kind of an example for all of that, like including nicotine. I have a horrible nicotine addiction.
I remember.
So yeah, so like was I still smoking cigarettes at that time, or was I no, I couldn't have
Yeah,
been. I must have been
you were
vaping.
popping out when we went to that jazz bar. You were making sure you were stocked up before we went in the door.
Yeah, yeah. But anyways, yeah, so uh I fall down, which is, like the reason I'm stumbling around and falling through the floor is it's when you're trying to like move on from shit and you're trying to be the person you want to be, it's real easy to, like it's not a steady incline. You trip and fall sometimes, and you pick yourself back up, and sometimes you fall flat on your ass. And in my case, my mental health will tempt me with things that I know are bad for me. And it's at the end, I chuck the cigarette, I fucking stomp it out or whatever, because it's like, I have to try to keep going and not kill myself. So yeah, I mean that's what the significance of the cigarettes were. And if you look, you can see a little maple leaf on them, or some weird Canadian brand. I said, I'm like, babe, I need you to go get some Newports. She's like, what are Newports? I'm like, you don't know? Okay, well, just I don't know, just go get some Newports. So she went to the convenience store and like, yeah, they don't know what Newports are. I'm like, I don't know, just anything. I don't care.
um, I just want to say, everyone in the chat, I do apologize for the audio issues. If you don't know, I don't have my headphones, so I'm basically listening to him on the floor now with the speakers on, trying to keep it as low as possible so it doesn't double up, and also loud enough that I can actually listen to him because he's a very gravelly man.
By the way,
uh,
uh,
So, where did you get the face mask from? Like, did you just go to like like a store, or did you get it online, or what?
I don't know what you're talking about. It's real.
The actual mask, the face that you peel off.
Yeah, I'm not understanding. See, I cut my face off.
Okay. Because I thought it was like a fake face that you kind of bought, and then you cover in the other shots you cover yourself in something. But so you basically took a straight edge razor and removed your face for your art.
I'm just gonna say that this is a raging infection waiting to happen.
Once summer hits, the fly's gonna love you.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I could invest in some like formaldehyde or something.
You should get yourself like a Sith mask, not a Darth Vader mask, but like one of the other ones.
Yeah, like a fucking who's that cool Sith? Darth Malachar. He's got a big iron.
This guy
Oh
is
my.
unfucking believable.
For the Fix Your Shit Fun Laugh. Great work, Marshall.
Hey, thank you so much. I gotta wait for it to pop up now. I think which one are you? Oh shit! Two Guns. Thank you so much with the 20 donation. Really
Hell
appreciate
yeah.
that, man.
Speaking of money, by the way,
Buy
if any of you
it
guys,
in the go to Spotify and give this man money. Go to other places and give him money too.
you actually can win some money. I'll tell you what. I'll give you some money. Anyone who wants to. It doesn't matter who the fuck it is. You can go to my comments, comment something. Obviously, if you comment something ridiculous, I might not be so inclined. But just comment, and you will be entered into a random drawing, completely random. I'm going to put all the names into a name generator, and you will be entered to win $100 plus a rare piece of merch that I'm going to be eventually putting out for everybody. So
It's gonna be your face once it rots.
I think I'll make an effort to make sure it's not stinky or anything when it gets to you.
I double down now. I turn it into jerky, Marshall jerky, man.
Yeah, it's like a horrible, like when you get like dry skin on the bottom of your foot and it comes off and turns into like this hard fucking. That's what it's gonna be.
Just coat it in barbecue sauce and charge like $15 for it.
That's
well worth the tetanus. Oh, I've been looking at the video, and you've got some up, a bunch of numbers up on the side of your arm. Is that I don't remember. Is that a tat, or did you draw it on?
That's a Donnie Darko tattoo. It's my favorite film. I know, as pretentious as it is to be a Donnie Darko fan now.
Yeah,
I don't give a fuck.
yeah.
My favorite.
But then again, I don't see
film.
anything pretentious about this video whatsoever.
No, exactly.
No, hey, you like what you like. I just always remembered looking at Donnie Darko and I was like, what? This is what everyone's going on about? It's fucking I don't care about these people. Like,
Who are you? What's my motivation? Who are you? What's my motivation? There's no words there.
It actually kind of reminded me of a more successful Ken Park at times. I'm not going to lie.
Not seen it. I'll have to check it out.
I wouldn't. You'll lose any remaining faith in humanity you have left.
Yeah.
Everyone is a piece of shit in that movie. Oh my god.
It's a documentary. Fuck.
Yeah, I think Ken Park is a real place. So. Oh, it does have a kid masturbating to a female tennis star by putting a belt around his neck and sticking it to like his bedroom door.
Well,
yeah,
sounds cheery.
That was if you didn't know what autoerotic asphyxiation was, you do now.
Yeah. I feel so bad for anyone who's been found, after it went wrong. It's like, not only did you kill yourself, but your family found you jerking it. It's terrible. Practice that shit safely, please.
If you ever die in like a brothel, you're always going to have those extra things thrown on top of you. Even if you were just into the most vanilla sex, or maybe you just went there to, I don't know, maybe you heard it had good broth. Maybe you didn't know what a brothel was, and you thought you picked up broth there.
I'm here for the broth. Like, what?
I'd like a bowl, please. Maybe chicken.
So you gotta leave.
Turns out that the one he went to actually really did, but they gave him salmonella and he died.
Fuck.
This shit happens. What can you do?
What do you know?
Yeah. So obviously, the feedback you've been getting so far has been fantastic on this thing, and it really I can tell like it's legit, especially Missy Ann. Big extra shout out to Missy Ann. She absolutely adored it when she was on the show day before yesterday. She was like, "You're gonna love this. I listened to this like 7 times." I listened to it. I'm like, "Yeah, that's a good beat." In fact, I might add that to the slow list playlist on the rare times I do truck anymore.
Oh,
Um,
thanks, man.
which obviously then if anyone clicks on it they'll see it and it'll be there in perpetuity, but it, tell me, is this just a project or is this the start of you going forward with more songs? Like, do you have anything else in your noggin that you're floating around?
This is officially the first single off my new album, I Hate Myself, which is, the follow up to the last one. And I have been sitting on some really awesome tracks for so long. So, another video is going to come out at some point, and after that, you can start expecting the drops for the rest of the album. And I previewed that to some people. Like if you were to ask Wizard, he's heard most of it. I'm really really excited for it. So yeah, this will be the sort of a current trajectory towards where I'm going.
All right. uh Looking forward to it, man. uh
Thanks, man.
any idea how long before the next one drops, or is it just too up in the air right now?
I can't say for sure. A lot of it is dependent on the performance of this, but we'll see. I definitely before the end of the year, 100%, 100%.
Okay. Okay. Um, I I'm definitely looking forward to it. I'm definitely curious, and I know others are too. I know Krendar probably would have wanted to be here, just his own timetable, didn't line up right. Um, and I would love at some time when your timetable's free for us to get you on the podcast.
Yeah, 100%. I like Krenner. I've actually been on the Morning Wood with him before. He's a really cool dude. And I would have liked to have come on one of you guys' regular streams, but just I've been like fucking, I just didn't have the time this week, unfortunately. But we'll make it happen. Like I gotta come back soon.
Yeah. Also, Marlon, if you're still in the chat, the same goes for you. I kept on telling myself to send you a message. There's actually tons of people that I keep going like, oh, you just have to ask them. They can say yay or nay. And for every one person I do, there's like 5 people I don't. So Marlon, if you're free, hell, if you're free in March, I could drop you a DM and we could talk out a time and place. If not,
Hell yeah.
we can stay in touch until your schedule is the schedule could work out. But yeah, it's crazy, man. But this isn't the only reason I brought you here. Or no, well, actually, I didn't technically bring you here. You came to me. But while you're here, I'm taking this opportunity to say that I've been pondering a certain pool game that we partake in.
Oh yeah.
And I have come to the realization that it was rigged from the start and that
How
I
so?
should have won, hands down.
You know what? Yes, it was a conspiracy, and I'm sorry.
Okay, I was planning for you to defend yourself. I wasn't planning you to fold that quickly. Yay me.
Low Energy actually won that game, and we spent months planning that heist. And I apologize for my actions. Please don't cancel me.
That was a fun night, though. Do you
That was a
remember?
lot of fun, man.
Do you remember the guy at the reception? Not the reception. The till, and he looked the most unhappy motherfucker in the world for a place full of like games and toys.
Yeah, I felt bad for that man. You could see just somewhere behind his eyes that dude's just waiting to go postal, man.
Oh God! Except most people around him are like under the age of 18, so that'll be extra tragic.
Yeah, I remember he didn't. I think he ID'd me twice
He
or
he
something.
ID'd. I think he ID'd me once, and I think that was just out of like reflex. And then
Mhm.
he did you twice, and he did Marlon, and that one you could so see that he didn't believe it, or he just couldn't be arsed to prosecute it. Like he was just
She looks like a youngin. She looks younger than she is.
she really does. She's tiny lady, so small. Doesn't help that
Very small. Yeah.
one of the pictures on my Instagram is her with a bloody crown from like Burger King.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, yeah, we went to the mall. Yeah, that was
Yeah,
sick.
one of my
And then some
first of
kid
many
punched you in the nuts.
Oh God, I forgot about that. The little
Yeah,
he punched me in the nuts. He did.
this fucking kid.
Like if he had any strength in him, I would have fallen down. I but I instead was actually fuck it. Like we've got a few minutes left. Let's bring up that video.
Yeah, go for it, dude.
What's he saying? What's he saying? What does Joe Rogan say when he wants a video brought up? Like, what's the guy's name again?
Jamie, bring that up.
Yeah, that's it. She's probably in the American trip. Christ, that trip was a nightmare. Well, it ended like a nightmare. It started out pretty good. So I can't believe you guys are the
Yeah,
only ones I ever actually got to chill with out of like the community.
that sucks, man. I mean, like, I don't know. I mean, you kind of went on like a. Whenever I go on a trip, and it kind of like goes south at some point, I'm just like, fuck it, man. I'm Bilbo. I'm on an adventure. We're getting eaten by spiders right now. You know, fuck it.
I didn't get eaten by spiders, but uh I did have a fun moment of almost dying of hypothermia.
Oh Jesus Christ, man.
Oh yeah, no, seriously, you can see it in the video, the homeless video. You can see my lips turning blue, and I couldn't stop shaking. I've been
Oh
up
my
all
God,
night.
dude.
Like you try to sleep in New York. It was it was crazy, but I mean, at this point, we've all heard it. It's over a year. Well, it's almost a year now. It's actually technically been like a year. Like
I'm glad you're okay, man. Where was that? New York City?
that was New York on the return trip. I had just lost my wallet.
Fuck, how'd you lose it?
Last time I saw it, I had just left the couch surfing place I'd been in some place in New Jersey, um, and I got the tickets to get the subway into New York proper, Manhattan. Uh, when I uh, when I went to get off the train, I went to the big shock. I went to the bar and I couldn't find my wallet, and I continuously couldn't find my wallet. And yeah, I'm actually
But
really surprised I got back home safe.
yeah, I'm really happy you fucking made it out all right, man.
The support I got was great, but at the same time, it was clear that I only had myself to blame. Like I can't. It won't go back any further than a year ago right now. Probably because I'm streaming. But shit, yeah. I'm just looking at some of the stuff. There's Bloomington. There's Omaha. There's New York. Homeless adventures in New York City. Now all is cracked up to be. I could have made. Now I realize I wasn't in any position to say it, but at the time I could have made one hell of a crack, a homeless crack joke. You know.
Yeah.
Um, but no, I was absolutely in bits. Big shout out to Cleveland. Every time I went to Cleveland, I was there twice, and I had a hell of a time there. Both
Oh
times,
yeah.
met some great people. I was especially in Cleveland in the return trip. Oh my god! I won't get into too much details, but shit, I could have. The trip could have gone in some very different directions. But
Oh
now
yeah.
looking back at it, with the lockdown about to happen and like the COVID and everything, like
Yeah,
it
when
wouldn't
did
have
you
been.
get back?
Do you have a video like that? I do have a video there, Marilyn. It just it won't it won't bloody load. Like oh, I got back thanks to the American government. It actually they have a scheme to get non-nationals out. So I was in a
Okay.
homeless shelter in Manhattan, and they set me up. See, it just won't stop twirling.
I
So
remember one of the funniest moments from when you were here was when you were at my place and you're like, yeah, I want to go shower. So I handed you this. I just not even thinking. I just handed you the soap, and then you're just staring at it. And I look at you, and you just hold it up next to your face, and it's Irish Spring. I didn't even
I
realize.
completely forgotten about that. There's actually a different story I remember about your bathroom there. I went into I needed to go number 2, so I went in there, and I did what I need to do. Then I realized you guys didn't have any toilet paper.
Oh fuck!
Yeah, so improvising, I let's just say I used a very tactical use of the sink, and also a very tactical use of anything cardboard that looked like it wouldn't be missed.
That's hilarious, dude. Damn, I didn't know, bro. You should have like texted me or something. I'd have bought you some.
I think you were like fast asleep at that point.
Shit, man.
That was
Yeah,
an
I like
interesting. That
bathroom
was
a
an
lot,
interesting
though.
place you were staying at the time. It was a little cramped, but like it looked like someone's old like Victorian house that had been converted. It was.
Yeah, it was. I'm still living there now.
Oh, okay.
This, as far as I know, this place was built in the like late 1800s because that's when I'm just assuming that because that's when a lot of these other houses were built that look like this. I'm sure it's been renovated since then. It has to have been. But yeah, a lot of the houses around here are really old, and it's this. I mean, it's a big house, but like per the time this was built, this was a mansion.
Oh yeah, I could
So,
tell that.
I mean, it's got a lot of rooms, so I mean, I like it, and that bathroom is fucking huge. I love how big
It
that
is.
bathroom is.
I like the shower. I mean, as you noticed, I'm a big guy, so having a shower that isn't like just like a shoebox was a nice change of pace.
Hell yeah, man. The only thing is like the water takes forever to get hot. I don't know if you had that experience, but like yeah, every time.
Oh, actually, if I remember right, we did pretty quickly. But what was that sandwich place we went to just
Oh,
before getting the beer?
that was Jim John's.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah, we
shit,
got the
we
stinger.
did a tiered list of fast food a few months back, and it
Oh
got
wait,
really debated. Like people were in the chat, like forming factions and clans, um, and it was and Jim Jobs was one of them. And I think I went, oh, I don't think I've ever been there. So I guess the food didn't make as much of an impression as I thought. That or else I just couldn't remember the name.
I'm trying to. There's a sandwich place with a really similar name, and I'm trying to make sure I'm not mixing them up. Hold on.
Also, we were outside the I'm So Cheesecake place, weren't we? Cheesecake Factory.
Yeah, when we went to the mall, there's like a bitching cheesecake factory in there.
But that is the one literally from the song, right?
I don't know. It might be actually. Yeah.
Yeah, because she says she's from Buffalo, and
Holy
there's
shit! Yeah, it does look like it too. I'd never realized.
I always one of the many regrets is that I never went in there. I still have the Dunder Mifflin T-shirt. It still fits me like a charm. Which of
Sweet.
course I have to wear on St. Patrick's Day now. It's kind of a given. But yeah, no.
Yeah, is St.
Uh,
Patrick's Day like really like widely celebrated there? Or is it just like kind of a
oh
stereotype?
no, it really is. I've done tons of videos here for St. Patrick's Day. In Dublin and here locally. St. Patrick's Day is kind of like Carnival in Brazil. So we all think Carnival is like, all the girls running around in the mini skirts and the huge feathers and all that. Not mini skirts, like the thongs and shit. But I remember I remember talking to a Brazilian girl who said that outside of Rio, everyone celebrates it differently. It's kind of like that for St. Patrick's Day here. We have the parades with the huge floats, and we've got the drinking. Wherever you go, the drinking happens. But some places, the parade can be as simple as maybe the school band going by, or it can be as crazy as getting a school band from America. They sometimes come in. Or Dublin, of course, is the biggest one for that. But yeah, no, we really, it's especially if you're like a drinker, like you wake up early, but you don't get drunk until around about 6 in the evening if you want to stay out all night because it's a non-stop party. But of course, there's a good chance you're never going to get drunk anyway because you can never reach the bar. It's just so packed. You'll never be able to find a seat. You'll never. I mean, you do eventually. Statistically, you go and you find a seat. Of course, that's all before the lockdown. I have no idea what it's going to be like this year.
You remember when I actually lost my wallet in that bar we went to?
Oh, it's like a two. It looked like a Tudor bar from the outside, didn't it?
Yeah, like I like the joint, but like I prefer bars where it's like a bit quieter, where you know you can talk while
Yeah,
you
we couldn't
drink.
hear each other. The music was good, but like we couldn't have much in the way of a conversation.
Oh yeah, dude was killing it on the guitar. He was
Mm.
fucking, it's really good.
That was the first time since I landed that they asked me to hold on to my card, and I'm like, why? And then I remember all the other times that obviously I wanted to start tab. So, um,
Oh, I finally remember what it's called. It's called Jim Stakeout, not Jim John's. Let's see. I knew I got him confused.
Jim's Stakeout.
Yeah.
Let's see, Jim's Steak. Ooh, Buffalo, New York. Images.
We've gone back there and gotten a few things other than the like their subs, and they were actually really fucking good. Like,
Yeah, that's the one. Um, yeah, I remember I really enjoyed it. I forget what I got though. That's the weird thing.
you got a stinger. It was a steak sub with chicken tenders on it, if I remember correctly.
Okay, let's see. Stinger.
Now they ruined it though, because now they like grind up the chicken. It's not the same.
Oh
It's not.
man, no. You want the texture of the chicken as well
Yeah,
as the flavor.
it's a mess, dude. It falls the. It's you. By the time you get it, it's just this horrible
I mean,
mess.
some of these, yeah, these are looking. Is that it there? Maybe. I mean, that looks no, that looks beef. That looks beef. Um, no, I really enjoyed it. In fact, now looking back at it, I mostly just ate sandwiches on that trip. Just oceans of sandwiches. If not like really good sandwiches, then like Subway. I ate so much
Yeah,
Subway, and I
I
lost my
love
Subway
Subway.
card when I went off to when I lost my wallet as well. So.
Fuck. Do they have Subway in Ireland?
Oh yeah, and the cards work over there too. In fact, my account is still good, so I hold on, background. There. My account's still good, so I can still get updates from them saying like you have this many points left on your account, and like you're entitled to and I think I'm good for a side now, and I'm never getting that
Cool.
side.
You're never getting that side.
No, all that hard work
Someone will
wasted.
get it. Who knows?
But no.
You got to be a cold motherfucker to steal a guy's wallet and use his Subway card.
Oh, that's the
bro.
thing. I
That's like,
didn't steal. I didn't get stolen. I lost that wallet. That's all down to me. I even can guess where I lost it. I lost it on the overhead platform there. In I think the town's name was Harrington or something like that in New Jersey. It was a shithole. I felt. Whoa, shit! We just froze there a little bit. But yeah, I felt really, really like unsafe there. I heard gunshots a lot. It looked like an absolute. It looked like New Jersey. It looked like New Jersey.
the point is, it looked like New Jersey.
Anytime you can see Manhattan in New Jersey, you're in the bad part of Jersey. You like get a little bit further in state, get a little bit further away, and it turns into the Garden State. Because I've driven through Jersey before, and it's nice, but I've also been to Bayonne, so.
I just hear so many bad things about Jersey, man. Like, especially like being in New York, bro. People hate, like, there's a rivalry. It's real, bro. They hate Jersey.
I hear the worst ones out of all them are Brooklyn.
My grandma, She's an old Italian lady. She still got a Brooklyn ass accent, bro. She grew up around
Nice.
there.
That must have been fun. When was she also living down in the south at the time?
Yeah, when I was a kid,
That
I mean,
must
they
have been
moved
so
around a
out of
lot.
place.
Yeah, they were in the military, so they were everywhere. They actually, like, when my mom was a kid and shit, they lived out in Texas and then New Mexico for a bit, and then eventually they came to Georgia once they got out of the military, and then that's where I was born.
I gotta be honest with
And
you. When I especially in places, the place I used to my watering hole there in Cleveland, on the return trip. It's an Italian bar. I forget the name of it, but it had like everyone. It was basically Cheers. But I would talk to all these people, and all of them had lived in at least 5 other states, and they
Mhm.
all just had to return back to Ohio for whatever reason. Um, and at that point, I'm like, oh my god, like Americans seldom leave America unless it's usually in the military or they go up to Canada.
Yeah,
Maybe they go
yeah.
down to
I
Mexico.
mean, a lot of Americans don't leave their hometown. Like, they might
Really?
travel a little bit. Yeah, dude, a lot of Americans get stuck in their hometown.
You think maybe that's like a southern thing or a northern thing? Because a ting, there's my accent coming in now. Ting.
And the thing,
The thing now, the thing you have to understand is that Americans, they're little homebodies. You know, they don't go far. But like, you seldom hear that they've gone just on a vacation over to Europe. But you're going to hear that like they've lived in Utah and fucking Mississippi and Alaska and shit like that, and yet they always want to go back to fucking the Bronx.
I don't know what I think a lot of that is economic. I mean, people on average are getting older and older to the point where they can even move out of their house. You know, like people are usually in their 20s, mid 20s now before they can even leave their parents' house
Oh
because
yeah,
it's
it's
just
the
so bad.
renting generation, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Like I don't know anyone my age who owns a house or has a mortgage. I don't know fucking anyone.
Um, you, it's kind of the same over here, but I kind of grew up in a slightly more, I don't want to say affluent, so let's say um, mobile part of Dublin. Where
Mm,
people could get like a head start here and there. So I do know a good chunk of people who now own their own houses who got the joys of mortgages or even finished mortgages. And, more power to them. I really lucked out with this place. I didn't have to worry about a mortgage at all. But like I am quite right. Be like well in the rarity. Most people I know still rent, and
oh yeah.
regardless of age, whether it be
Honestly,
renting
like
through landlord or renting through their parents.
if I had the choice of like in a mortgage on the place or just renting a house, I would definitely rent a house because learning from my mom and like all my older family members like who have since like fallen into economic like hardship since my mom's doing better now, she got a business, but like I've seen like fucking how much upkeep houses need, like just shit you wouldn't even
Mm.
think of. There's always something that needs
It's
to
a
be
money
done on a
sink.
house. It's like a car, man. Like cars, like you are constantly just throwing money into that fucking car.
And do you remember when we were growing up? Maybe not so much for you because you've got like a few years, you're a few years younger than me. But when I was growing up, it was always get yourself a house and it's the ultimate investment. Bullshit. That is
Oh yeah,
under
you're
the
gonna lose all your money.
assumption that the economy is always going to be safe. Like, assuming you're ever going to pay off your fucking mortgage, and assuming that like the house doesn't require so much renovations that you have to like declare it foreclosed or whatever. Um, you know, then you're going to sell it for what, like half the value that you originally got it for. You sunk it
In
into.
American houses, especially like that are built past like 90, are garbage. They are built like cardboard. They're fucking terrible. The siding melts on them.
Oh,
The
well, that's
fucking
actually
roof.
that's a uniquely American thing. Very rarely you'll find a house here with like the wooden sidings. I noticed that in Indiana a lot.
Well, and
Uh,
it's like I look at these houses around here; they're all old. They're still fucking standing and pretty rock solid
Yeah,
because
because they're
they
designed
used
to
to build
last.
houses with quality. They just don't now. They try to build them quickly so they can just build these big ass neighborhoods and as cheaply as possible, and that shows.
Even like the houses that were made after World War II, the baby boomer sort of concrete, sort of everything looks the same. Here comes some great metal albums in the 70s and 80s from people who grew up there. um, like they lasted a lot longer. At a certain point, it just became like the norm. Hell, I'm sure there's like tons of documentaries and like investigations and shit into this shit, but like it seems that you've got two choices in America if you're not wealthy. You're either going to end up renting all your life, or you're going to buy a place that is simply like the most unstable thing possible. And most likely you bought that
Mhm.
by being lied to.
Oh yeah, 100%, dude. And that's the thing about a rent. Like you got a lease. If it's bad enough to fucking pay your fee and break the fucking thing, and
There's
you're out
always
of
going to
there.
be someone else ready to take you in.
Yeah, yeah. It's I mean there's things that are awesome about renting, but then there's the obvious drawbacks because of just how predatory it is. It's like especially in the way the economy is now with the pandemic and everything, like landlords are fucking the devil. But it's
Not
that's why
all
it's always
landlords now. Let's not
well,
lump them
that's what I
all
was gonna
together.
say. If
But
you
I
can
know what
find
you
a
mean.
cool landlord, it's bitching because my landlords here are awesome. They leave me alone. They don't ever bother me.
That's the
And if
first thing
something
you
breaks,
want. You
they
don't want
fix
them
it.
to start thinking that like they can talk to you at like 3 in the morning, shit faced.
Yeah.
I've heard
Have
some
you had that
horror
experience?
stories,
Oh,
but
Jesus.
my landlord, the one time I had a landlord, he was all right, but he was a henpecked motherfucker who just didn't want to be doing what he was doing. He inherited it from his dad, who was like a
Mm.
major owner of property around Dublin. And he inherited a few houses to look after and make a little bit of an income. But they were all past their prime and inhabited by people who, let's say, were not the most stable most
Yeah,
of the
you were
time.
telling me about that you lived in an apartment that was, like, really small and, like, there was a crazy guy there.
Damn! There was a few crazy guys. There was a guy who tried to break into my place. There was the girl downstairs who was playing music over and over again until her boyfriend started beat the shit out of her. There was the what possibly could have been a pedophile above me.
That was what you
The,
told me about, yeah.
and then the guy before him OD'd, and his body wasn't found for 3 days.
Oh,
Uh,
Jesus.
I came back from the UK at one point to find the base apartment down where the live, because it was an old townhouse, and it was a it was like the old living room was converted into an apartment, and it's he didn't want to pay his he didn't want to pay the deposit. So when I was gone, what had happened was he decided to burn the whole house down.
Oh my
He,
god.
yeah, he failed. He owned, but he didn't. His first place, his place was destroyed, but he didn't realize that they were all full of different smoke alarms. Because the Irish government does its best to make sure that everyone has like working smoke alarms. Even out here, our smoke
Yeah.
alarm. That's actually one of the few things we do take for granted. That the Irish government does pretty well. It ensures that we like all have smoke alarms and they're all completely up to code.
That's what, like, Buffalo the city will come by, and they'll, actually go to each apartment, and they check your
It
smoke. I've
happened
had that
here
in both apartments.
a few weeks ago.
Yeah,
Um,
they just come in and be like, "I need to check everything, I need to make sure your doors do the close thing," and then they leave.
oh, where's the background? There's one cool thing I have to say, not just about the location about my first place, but the one cool thing about my place was there's Bernard Shore. This is Whitford Road here in Dublin, in Drumcondra, halfway between Drumcondra and Fisber. But if I go down here and go into Street View, no, won't let me. Satellite. Street View. Street view this motherfucker. So I lived around about here. Yeah, there we are, number 18. Oh god, even in this picture you can see the difference of like the roof is like of a much older design because the place was getting gentrified at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But we were like the last holdout of like the shitty place. Like we were the last hold. We were a flop house. There's no other way around it. But I don't know if you can see, if you guys at home can see. There's a plaque here. My house happened to be the birthplace of the guy who invented the Indian motorbike.
Oh, that's cool.
And we were there the day they put the plaque up, and a bunch of bikers came from all over the world to celebrate. And there were so many bikes that the canal just beyond the train tracks here had been rented out by a bunch of boats, which is very rare. I don't even know how the hell they got them in there, because it's actually now a cornered off segment of canal. It's just solely for show. But yeah, that was probably the worst place I'd ever lived in. The place in Chicago came close, but they were nice people. That was the difference. They were very nice people. Very. They were in charge of the place. It was very shit. But look, I didn't come all this way. I didn't come all this way out to talk about my shitty apartment stories.
I don't know why I love apartment stories.
Well, because it's one of those things. It's like when you talk about food or like crazy shit at work.
Mm-hmm.
Like you've everyone has those sort of stories. I mean, I didn't even mention the time I walked out and he was having a fight with the bin men, so that they weren't taking the bins, so it was just piling up in like a literal mountain outside the front of it, and someone had flung a cat that had been trampled to death on top of it.
Oh my god!
And you knew it was trampled because you could see the footprint on its little chest.
I love the way you guys say bin. I wish
bin.
there's
bin
occasionally words that I am pissed that we don't use that people in the UK use. Like, I mean, we use the word bin, but not for like we call them trash cans. You know, it's like that just sounds like gross. Like
trash,
a bin sounds
bin,
nice.
Garbage. The waste basket, the rubbish bin. We say stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have. One thing I've noticed, we have a lot of different words for the same thing.
Yeah.
But like as far I've always found that like it's never something that you can immediately think of. It has to be something that someone from the other culture has to say. Like a little while ago, Krendar and I were talking, and he couldn't say the word Essex right. He said Essex. Really? The way he said it was kind of like elongated. So I was like, "Oh, could you please say that again?" You know, like I mean, yeah. and he looked at me and he's like, "No."
I love that there's like almost a silent culture war about how to pronounce aluminum or aluminium.
Aluminium. That's one of the oldest ones. Aluminium or aluminum.
Aluminium just sounds so strange to me. Still, I can't.
Aluminium. I don't know. It almost sounds like the chemical you know, the periodic table.
Yeah.
It's kind of like if it was like a element, it would be that's how you call it.
Mm-hmm.
And then the American will be kind of like the slang of it.
It's like that fucking medicine. I still don't even know if I'm pronouncing it right. I think it's pronounced acetaminophen or acetaminophen, but I was calling it acetaminophen because it's like I hate the way you pronounce medicines, dude. It's so annoying. Like
medicine.
Medicine. America. There is no damn D in America.
I always like what Jeremy Clarkson called it, America Land.
America Land.
That's the name of a movie, isn't it? America Land.
I'm not sure I ain't seen it. I do like the movie God Bless America. I just showed Meryl in that recently. I don't know if you've seen that, but it's really, really good flick.
I need to get back watching a few films. I've just downloaded on Netflix there ostensibly because I was worried the power would cut out again, but seeing that it's downloaded on my phone, I might as well watch it and then it's replaced with something else. News of the World with Tom Hanks.
I haven't seen that one. I've actually missed out on a lot of Tom Hanks. I haven't seen Castaway. I haven't seen like a lot of his big ones.
It's fairly new. I think it was just released a few days ago. It's set just after the Civil War, and he's like a newsman going
Oh, I
across.
heard about that. Yeah, no, I know what you're talking
He finds
about.
like a
That
little
looks cool.
girl, and he has to bring her home.
Can we talk about just real quick? Since we're talking about movies, that Jared Leto's Joker literally says we live in a society in the fucking trailer.
I saw the tweet, and I was like, no, I have to ask him. So thanks for bringing it up. He doesn't really, does he?
I couldn't believe it. Yeah, he goes, and he totally changed the voice too. He totally changed, like, he almost sounds.
I'd look at the clip, but it would probably
vaguely-
get the video flagged.
Check it out after, because he almost sounds like vaguely British. It's strange. He definitely changed his approach.
Is he meant to be the same one from Suicide Squad?
Yes and no. I don't think it's literally him, because it looks like that's in Batman's like nightmare vision. So I think it's like a nightmare version of him, if I'm getting that right. I could be wrong though, because I haven't seen the film, because I think the DCEU is a pile of steaming garbage.
It is, except for that new Joker movie.
Well, that's not in that universe, but yeah, I love that film a lot.
I
They
noticed
really
in the
killed
music
that.
video, like you at least were inspired by the style.
Yeah, I brought in a couple different Joker inspirations. There was a Gotham, the Joaquin Phoenix and the Heath Ledger were probably like the top. I actually have some. We were doing like screen tests, and I did some of the Heath Ledger. I recreated some of those shots, and that was a
Yeah, I
lot of
noticed you
fun.
did the stairs and shit like that.
It was cool. But yeah, he goes, "We live in a society that is abandoned." What do you say? That is abandoned morals or something really cringy like that. And then he turns around and he goes, "Batman!" And like literally, it was like it was terrible.
I mean, to me, it's always going to be. It's got acting wise, it can be whoever because it changes. Jack Nicholson was not without his charm.
Yeah. He's the only interpretation I haven't liked. I'll be honest with you. Even on the
Really?
animated shit, I've
the artiste
loved everything I've seen.
Put a smile on your face.
I want a redneck Joker. Sorry.
Then there was, of course, Heath, that everyone lost their fucking mind over.
Yeah.
Which obviously, like, it was brilliant. It was great. It was pure chaos and anarchy. And then, of course, you had Jared's one, which I hear he was worse to work with because of it, because he was in character.
Yeah,
Like,
there's a
leaving
way
used
to
tampons
do
around
method
and slashing
acting.
people's tires.
It's okay. Look at like Daniel Day-Lewis. He's a very extreme method actor because that's how he prefers to work. You know, he's like it would be harder for me personally to be going in and out of character between takes and stuff. So that's why I method act. Jared Leto is a marketing guy, which he's very brilliant at that. And actually, if you ask me, I think the fucking "we live in a society" thing was a calculated marketing thing by him, which is
Do you think
I
maybe
think
so people will just like talk about it on Twitter and shit like that?
I think so, but I also think that's really short-sighted and it's not going to serve him well in the long run.
Oh God, no.
But anyways,
Also, hi
yeah,
everyone in the chat. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and to check out this fine gentlefolks' latest song. You'll find a link for it down there below.
Yes.
But yeah, that's all well and good, but I mean, it's Mark Hamill all the way for me.
Yeah,
for
he's
Joker.
my definitive Joker as well.
He got it. Like he got the crazy funness of it.
If I read a comic, that's the voice I hear in my head. I hear Mark Hamill's voice when I see the Joker.
To the point 100%. Where all other versions, the crappier versions, you know, those sort of like fire and forget animations of from DC that have the Joker in it. If they couldn't get Mark Hamill, the guy who takes over still has to do their best Mark Hamill.
Oh, that guy Troy Baker. He really does a good Mark Hamill, a younger sounding Mark Hamill, but he also kind of has his own flair on it. I like the guy. I
Yeah,
do.
I like Troy Baker in video games. But like, it's if you can't get Mark Hamill, then don't put the Joker in it, unless of course you found a guy who's like the next Arnold. But yeah, I would like them to put the same level of talent into some of the other villains. And I'm trying to think who is like. There's so many that have like a lot of hidden depths, and not Harley, someone else. I'd love them
Mhm.
to take another crack at Two-Face and show the real horror of like.
Yeah, that's not been done properly yet, other than the Batman animated series. I think they
Yeah,
did a
which
good
was
job.
brilliant at times, especially at the
Mhm.
beginning. Harvey Dent's descent into schizophrenia. Um, but like you could get further, afield. Like um, maybe have another crack at. I know they're going to do the Riddler in the latest one, aren't they?
Yeah, it looks really interesting. Like people, as soon as I heard that Pattinson was cast as Batman, were shitting on that thing, and I've actually been saying, just like I called Joker, I've been saying that I think this is actually going to be a pretty decent Batman flick. The best, no, but I think it's going to be pretty good. And their Riddler looks really cool. It's a bit of an edgier take than we've seen. You know me, I love edgy. That's my fucking bread and butter.
But if you like edgy, you should really put it into your work more. I saw nothing. It was very tame in that video, I gotta say. And those lyrics, pfft,
Someone told me they're like, Edge is dead. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. This is what I
the
do, and
Kids
I'm gonna
Bop
do it.
version of Never Loyal.
Oh my god. Yeah, they're like
Hey, you'll
fucking
know
like.
you'll succeed when you hear a Kids Bop version of your song.
I think I'd have to shoot myself.
Like literally, you do a retake of the music video, but you shoot yourself at the end of it.
No, I'll call it. Yeah, that'll be my suicide note. I'll call it Kids Bop version. And everyone's gonna be like, "Oh, fucking!" It'll get taken down immediately.
Well, considering some of the Kids Pop songs out there, like considering like their bass stuff, can be like the source material can be like the most like racy, edgy shit ever. Like
Yeah.
it could happen. I mean, this is the age of like dead celebrities showing up. This is that joke that Krusty made when he became George Carlin, where like Vincent Price comes out as a ghost to talk about the horrors of an unwashed bowl. Well, that's the sort of world that we're living in. So whatever happens after, I suppose after you're dead, you don't care. But I mean, I'd hate to think someone's legacy that hated it turned out to be pieces. Turned out to be like a just a marketing ploy and a shitty marketing ploy at that. At least get creative, you know.
hmm I don't know. A lot of that's just really appealing to me in a sense. Like I personally would love if they, as long as my estate, my family profits off it, I would love if they would make new albums for me via AI, like recreate my
Oh,
voice. That'd be
okay.
really cool. Or like hologram shows. I'm totally cool with that too. That sounds awesome to me.
But there's always going to be that wonder. If you were alive, would you approve of what's happening up on stage in terms of like the lyrics and like the tone of the songs and shit like that?
Well, see, I would put a provision like for hologram shows, it would be actual footage of me. So like you take my actual performance
Oh
and
yeah, obviously.
you can project that. But like with the AI shit, I just find that so interesting that like as long as there's a disclaimer on it that it was not made while I was alive, I think yeah, fucking try all kinds of shit. That sounds cool to me.
Even if like you, even if without the context of it being you, if you had been like alive and listened to it, you'd be like, oh god, that sounded like shit. If it didn't come from like say your estate.
Yeah. Well, I would also like want them to have like ultimate say over like obviously if the AI made me say something fucking reprehensible, like we can't do that.
Um,
Like,
uh, like uh, like you're doing the Salty Paul song, and then suddenly the Holocaust was a lie.
exactly, yeah, like because like I don't know. My vision for how that's gonna go, which the way I would prefer that to happen is so I would want artists to have given express consent before, and then what I envision is they would take this AI and you would run all the footage, all the writings, all the pictures, all the recordings of this person that you possibly have through this program. And not only would it build an idea of how you formulate melodies and all that shit, but I would want it to also like take make a psychological profile of you and like look for patterns and the kind of things you talk about, so like to get it actually close to writing material as well. Like I think that would be really cool.
I see a major and unique situation involved in this. If that happens, you would eventually get fans saying that they prefer the AI to the flesh you.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. That's a crazy concept to me.
Yeah, like they consider you like limited by your time frame and shit like that.
I
Um,
mean, like we're gonna get to the point where it'll be possible to recreate a singer's voice and it'll be indistinguishable. I mean, we're getting there.
oh, absolutely. Like right now, we can just get the holograms to do a few things, but give it enough time, and hell, you can have it like already timed with certain events. So it almost looks like, for example, we could have a guy come out. Let's just say um, you're a guitarist and you die, and sent like 10 or 20 years from now, someone comes out on stage in like a motion capture suit, but it's not a motion capture suit so much as it's like a hologram projector suit. And they can play guitar just as well as you can, or near enough to, but your body is taken over by this projection of the original person who's then playing the guitar, and it looks like they're on stage. So you could create like a band made up out of all the greatest musicians of all time, all up on stage
Mhm.
playing anything really. Um,
Yeah.
which
I had a conversation with Paul about this, about like imagine a new Nirvana album comes out in 40 years or something. Like that'd be insane. Like the new Nirvana album that like I but like not just like hey we recreated his voice, but like what I'm talking about, like that take a psychological profile of the
mm,
person and like god that would be
sounds like
so
some
cool.
Evan would want to get into.
You should talk to Evan about this. I think he'd love it.
No, Evan would take this to 11, 111, if you will. But
Take it to one of
uh, yeah, I would. I'm not against the idea. It's just halfway through, I could totally imagine, especially if your estate is inherited by a bunch of pricks or just people desperate for money, and they would end up having something like uh, um, the Mozart reunion tour, sponsored
yeah,
by
dude.
Pepsi. You know, like,
the
and
Pepsi
every 5 seconds, like he comes out and he's covered in Pepsi logos, and there's Pepsi. Like every few seconds, he stops to pretend to drink like a Pepsi, and all the songs are about the glory of like Pepsi and fucking Sprite and all those
Yeah,
others.
see, that's horrifying. That's
But
so
that's the thing. You'll
horrifying.
be dead. You won't have any say. It's just about the
Well, yeah,
people who
that
inherit your
part
shit.
I'd want like I'd want there to be laws around it, or whoever has this program, like I said, the artists when they're alive would set provisions for what they're comfortable with. So yeah, like I personally, yeah, like no advertising products. Like I don't know what the, especially like I don't know what the hell companies are up to in the
And there'll be
future
no way of
or
knowing in the
what they,
future what they're up to. After you're dead, it's
yeah,
going to keep on churning on.
yeah, like no advertising, no if it's not a view that I've espoused in my music already, I don't think I'd want it in there, just so for obvious reasons, things like that. And then I'd also want the sole benefactors to be like my family, like my kids or my grandkids and so on.
Um, Someone who could actually chime in on this right now, but I don't think she's here, is Elf King, and reason being is she's a huge Tolkien fan.
Oh, me too. Sweet.
So, same. I absolutely love it. I actually enjoy reading the Silmarillion for what it is.
Yeah, dude. I think the Silmarillion kicks ass. I get like there's a lot
Well, it
of
turns
names
into the
and all that
Bible,
shit.
even the worst parts of the Bible, where it's Onwes came Enueth, Enueth came
Yeah.
Ilunwain. You know, like, and you have to remember all these names and places, locations. That's why I love those YouTube videos that like explain the the first era and the second era and all that shit, or the age rather.
When I read it, I just sit by the computer. So if I like am reading through and I see a name and I fucking forgot, I just quickly I look up who the fuck the name is and I get back to it.
Noldor went to Dol Manol, and Silmaril went to Hilbilil and fought them in Huldenheim. Which now is quickly turning into a Norse saga, but I mean, it was one of the inspirations. But of course, they with Elf King, they said something very similar, like the estate should be very careful of what they'd want. In his case, that's not a great idea because, well, he was a hardcore fundamentalist Christian who, for example, he believed that Iluvatar was God, like literally Jehovah. So he wouldn't have been 100% cool with, like, especially the fan fiction that goes out.
Oh god, yeah.
Like,
dude, I don't know if you saw it, but I tweeted this. All I said was, "Do you want to ruin your day?" And they got a professional narrator to narrate an erotic Harry Potter fan fiction between Hagrid and Dobby, and it's horrifying, dude. It's so disturbing.
I once heard Bennett the Sage, as an old wise man, read the Final Fantasy VII fanfic, Tifa Takes a Poop.
Takes a poop.
Yep. Something tells me that the person who wrote this was either trolling or did not and will never see a naked lady. It's like fan fictions are just. When I was on Your Internet Friends, they had me read out a Darth Maul Obi-Wan fan fiction.
Gross, man. Does he have a horn for a penis?
And it was after he got cut in half, so he's got the robot legs going on there.
That's sick.
If it's out there, people will fuck it. When I was a teenager, when I was really young, I used to go on fanfiction.net and scan around. So much Teen Titans shit out there at the time. Teen Titans and Kim Possible and people like that, and so much anime. Big shock there, but like if a lot of these creators, it shows who they are as people by what they can, like how, if they're alive, how they respond. Like some of them lean in on it and write their own fan fictions. While others, like the one who wrote Twilight, for example, Stephanie Meyer, I think it is.
That sounds familiar. I think you're right.
She's like, no, you shouldn't do that. And one of them went off to become 50 Shades of Grey. So
That's
always
hilarious.
follow your dreams, ladies, I guess.
I did not know that. That's so funny.
But well, God, we went on a tangent, didn't we? Let's have a look at the chat. I'm not a guitarist and I'm never going to die. I cannot relate. No, August, you are just a sweet boy and we love you. Until eventually you're like a Dorian Gray where we're all old and you haven't aged and we start getting suspicious. You're going to have to change your name. Amazon show will cover the second age, I believe. Oh, that's right. Yes. Oh, Marshall, did you hear about this? The Lord of the Rings TV show that's going to be set.
Yeah, I'm actually really excited for it. I was not excited when I heard they were gonna show they were gonna like depict like sex and nudity because it's really not a thing in the books.
It's so not a thing. In fact, I'm surprised he had kids. Like
Surprised he was capable of that.
everyone is written, especially the women. They're written like statues most of the
They're
time.
very, very like. Let's just say that the people of Middle Earth keep their sex lives very private to the point where not even Tolkien knows about it.
Yeah, like there is a story of a bunch of orcs. I think it was like sexually assaulting one of the uh, like an elf queen, and she died as a result of just being like sexually abused. So
I
I'm
didn't know that.
guessing it's like
That's cool.
love is the ultimate aphrodisiac, which, in all fairness, it kind of is in real life. So um, that and lacy underwear, but you can combine the two. Um, but yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. I want to see how Melkor is portrayed because he might be the creation of the literal concept of evil, but he's actually kind of he gets his ass kicked so often.
I know. I was reading the Silmarillion. I'm like, this dude is just constantly taking L's, bro. He's taking ass beatings.
Yes, Sauron, might not have had nearly as much power, but he had more of a presence.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Sauron as well.
Oh yeah, he'll be in his glowy silver mode, won't he?
Yeah, he's gonna be all pretty
He'll
and
be all
shit.
pretty and shit. It'll be basically Shadow of Mordor. Those cutscenes, those memories of Shadow of Mordor.
I loved those games. I some of the lore breaking was like too annoying for me, but
Oh
it's
hi
still
Gollum, what are you doing here?
yeah. I was like, wait, what? And then it was like as soon as I saw like them showing fucking Minas Tirith falling, I was like, wasn't this way before? And like, yeah, it was way before that.
Or
So
all
I
the
don't know. They
humans that
took their
live
liberty.
by was it the lake of the Sea of Rud or whatever in Mordor while the Lord Sauron rises.
It's
What are they eating? Like there's nothing there.
lava.
uh, uh, Ash, dead
Yeah.
thing,s and
I also like. I
oh,
really
and they
don't
made
agree with
Shelob
them.
sexy.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know why they made Shelob a shape shifting woman. Like they could have just left her a spider. She'd have been exactly the same. I don't understand why they did that.
Shelob should be horrible, and I hope Ungoliath does not get turned. She does have shape-shifting form, but it should be few and far between because she's only time she ever does that, I suppose, would be Melkor because he's the only one he ever parlayed with her.
Mhm.
That'll be cool watching her suck the life out of the trees.
Yeah,
That should
it'd
be
be
like the
fucking
end
like
of season 1 or
the
something.
way I picture that in my head was so sick. Like just this cloud of darkness, just like not from any particular direction. It's just devoid of light, just consuming things. Like that's so cool. That's metal as fuck. You could totally if they do that right, you could fucking edit music over that. Would look
Oh,
amazing.
totally. And I want to cut it to like a bunch of like elves just being prancing and enjoying themselves as elves do. And they look up and the sky's going dark and they're terrified and they're looking outside and they see the trees. One point, the trees, look!
Fuck.
You know what I want? I really want, and this is so nerdy and they won't do it. I want them all to speak in Elvish. High Elvish.
Nah, they don't have the balls.
They won't
That
do
would be
that.
cool though.
They won't. It'll be interesting to see Gondor, or rather Numendor, rise and
Yeah,
fall.
yeah,
They're
man.
gonna make it all like Game of Thrones, though. I guarantee you. I mean, if they do
What
that in Maleficent, they'll do that for this.
what age was Gondolin in the Fall of Gondolin?
Gondolin was early Second Age, wasn't it? Chat, correct
Yeah,
me if I'm wrong. I think First Age was when like the Valinor were fighting Melkor, and like the mountains were being risen up and shit like that.
right. So if the show's about the Second Age, they could get that in there.
They should show the flight of the Noldor. That'll be pretty cool. Where
That
a
was
young
so interesting.
Gladriel leaves.
Yeah, I really want to see Feanor. Like he was such an interesting character to me. Like that whole ordeal was so interesting. So you can probably hear World War III behind me.
Nah, that's all right. You're probably hearing yourself echoed every time you talk.
No, I actually haven't heard myself once. It's been pretty good.
That's pretty cool. Chat. Has there been any echo? Well, we'll wait a while now. But yeah, I want them to show Angbang looking unique. Um, we should see tons of Balrogs, not just the one.
Yes, I'm so excited for that. That was one of the things I loved from the Shadow games was the fucking Balrog looked badass. And when you freeze it under the ice and you can see it down there, oh, it's so cool.
Um, I wonder if we'll finally get the Hobbit orgy we've been teasing in the movies on Amazon show now. That there's nudity. Fingers crossed. All right, I don't know why you want a Hobbit orgy, but I mean, they
I see
could.
it. I get it actually because if you look at Sam and Frodo's relationships especially in the films, there's a bit of a vibe going on. If you feel me?
There is, and a lot of gay communities latched on between them. But this is what I'm saying. This is what I was going back to the whole Elf King thing. Like if Tolkien was alive today, he would be fucking disgusted. He would be freaking the fuck out at some of these connections.
He
Uh,
definitely would not have liked the films at all.
oh,
Definitely would have hated it. I love them and their masterpieces, but like when you're so close to source material, when you've envisioned a world so detailed in your head, you're never going to be satisfied by anything you see.
speaking of, are you pumped for Doom? Dune, not Doom.
I was like, another Doom movie that didn't go well.
What you don't like Dwayne the Rock Johnson and
No, I don't, and
Carl
I'm tired of
Urban?
him being cast in every fucking movie on the face of the earth. There's other actors. I don't want to see The Rock as everybody. Otherwise, I just see The Rock everywhere I go.
Hey, it's that or else Jason Momoa. Speaking of Dune,
I prefer it. So yeah, I've never seen the original. I've never read the books, and I've never seen the any of the films that have been done actually. But
shit, you're missing out.
like, I'm just recently getting into Lynch. So, or wait, no, that's not a Lynch. Did he do?
David
Did he
Lynch did the Dune film, the one everyone
Okay,
thinks
yeah.
of.
So
There's
yeah,
a few Dune
I've just
adaptations.
started
All of them
getting.
suck.
I'm gonna check it out. I think I want to get a little better understanding of the source material before I watch the new movie. But
Yeah, I'd at least read the first book. Forget there are sequel baits and shit like that in the first book, but it's nowhere near as important. Um, I love the look of it, but I love the look of the Lynch film. I mean, I'm huge into 40K, so anything that's like gothic in space or Lovecraftian in space, I'm definitely
mhm.
on board. I mean, they got H.R. Geiger to design a lot of the shit in Dune, but for this one, I like how everything looks futuristic but old because that's 100% what it was like. They've been using
That's what
this
Paul was
technology
talking
to
about.
us that would be like alien, futuristic, thousands of years in the future, but that was thousands of years past from them, and they're reusing the same tech over and over again.
Yeah, it's so cool to think about. And I think Paul was mentioning, like, I don't know if this is actually within the canon of the universe or if this was just something he was, extrapolating off of that. But he was talking about how, like, humans who have been spread out over, all of these different planets have now started to evolve separately because they're in different conditions.
Mm.
And that's a really cool concept to me of like, yeah, like after a certain point, after you conquered space and humans have been living in all these different places, you're eventually like certain humans from different planets are going to become genetically incompatible with
And then
others.
you throw a drug like the spice in as well, which mutates people. I mean, everyone all knows the navigators with their weird ass faces and giant bodies, but
Mhm.
then you've got like the Bene Gesserit, or even Giddy Prime, the Harkonnens. Harkonnens live in a world that's basically a hive city from 40K, where the main export is biomass. Like they literally melt people down into this sludge, then export it off world. So
Wow.
the people living there are all pale, incredibly pale, with these weird looking eyes. And then, of course, you got the Fremen with their big blue on blue eyes, because everything about their lives have been invited with the spice. The spice is in their food, the spice gets in their clothes. Um, it's really cool to see that. And then you'd have, for example, the Talaxu and I forget the name of the other ones. They're the only ones that still make new tech. But one of them has no females. Instead, they've turned their females, while they're still alive, into these sort of transparent incubators. And they're born with no hair, no pigment of any type, huge fangs. They don't eat. Instead, they like put power packs, and they look like they look like a Digimon person. Like if you've ever seen a comparison of what Pikachu would look like in Pokemon, what Pikachu looks like in Digimon, and like Digimon's one looks like this horrible Akira sort of mutant. That's kind of like what the belly Claylax look like. It's just there's
he described a scene, and I can't remember if he was talking about Dune or not, where like somebody was not used to the gravity of a planet, so to torture them, they just made them stand up. And the pain
yeah,
was so
that's been
excruciating.
used. They use that in The Expanse, the TV show The Expanse. Anyone off Earth are brought to Earth and just
Right,
put up
exactly. Yeah.
against a wall, and you can just see like pools of like water falling off them. Yeah, there's so many like nuances that you can add to that. You can play around with so much, and it adds to this sort of alien idea. Because a while back, I had to describe the Dune universe with someone who's the most crazy thing they've ever seen sci-fi wise was like 2001 and Star Trek, and obviously Star Wars. And I'm like, well, they're all still people at the end of it. Like they're all still like normal people, and technology, you can kind of get a feel of what all this stuff is, except for the end of 2001 where everything gets all trippy and weird. In Dune, like it's just there's so much layer of backstory, and that's the problem with the Lynch film. There's so much monologuing going on because he has to quickly explain what's happening. So it cuts to someone's mind. The thing is, in the book, they do the same thing. It works in the book, it doesn't work on screen.
I feel like properties like that. That's why I'm happy they're doing this Amazon series, because I feel like properties like that are better
As series rather than movies.
Yeah, they're better served in a more long
It's
form
why
storytelling.
it's why the Inquisitor, the 40K movie, the 40K TV show is coming to, I think it's Netflix, and it's
cool.
it's not a movie. It's going to be like a mini series, and that's good because it will explain more. Like I need
cut out.
that explanation. Well, the norm needs the explanation. They can go in further from it.
I'm really curious to see like just how deep they're going to go with this show, because we really don't know anything. They've confirmed a couple of people that are going to be appearing, and that's it. Because like they've cast a young Galadriel, and I'm sure they've cast Sauron by now, but I don't think they've revealed that.
Yeah, they usually work back from the biggest names.
Mm-hmm.
So it's either going to be the person who's on screen the most, or the person with the biggest. What was the name? It was Amazon, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Television, film. Lord of the Rings TV series. We'll be wrapping this up pretty soon, because you said we've actually been doing this nearly 2 hours now.
Yeah. Well, I've had a good time though.
Same, man. I'm glad we could talk about it, but also just rap about all our nerdy shit.
Yeah, dude, I don't get to talk about Tolkien shit like very often, so it's really cool to be able to talk to somebody about it.
Always be sure to pop in. I love to talk about Tolkien shit, especially if hell, if you want to talk Tolkien shit, my friend Elf King is going to be my guest for 3 Drinks Minimum this the last Wednesday of the month, which is the 24th. If you're free, then pop in and just chat away.
Yeah, man.
She'll take over.
If I have
She'll
the time,
completely
I'd
take
fucking
over
love to.
and
That'd
be like just nerd pure out with you. Let's see. It was held on March due to COVID pandemic, but it's resumed in September. Okay. First, it's going to appear on Prime this year, and they've second series was formally ordered in November of. Wow, they have high hopes for this one. They've already ordered a second series. Hasn't even started
They
yet.
invested like $1 billion or something. They are
What if this
all in.
turns out to be a shit? No, it always turns out to be like absolute shit. Like, oh,
I don't know.
this.
I've heard they're being really smart. Like they're not like obviously going the direction of like bringing fucking Peter Jackson back or anything, but they did consult him for like some things. They are shooting it in New Zealand.
Which is good
I
for
think
the union
yeah,
there, if you know anything about the.
exactly. It's gonna feel more consistent. Like I want it to feel like its own thing, but I also want to be able to suspend my disbelief to like really be like, yeah, these are this like if any of the returning characters, like yeah, this is a
Ooh,
young version of that same
here's
character.
one. Here's one confirmed one. Morford Clark is going to be Gladriel. Let's have a
Yeah,
look
that's
at
the
her.
one I saw. Yeah.
Let's have a look at her. Yeah, I could see her. I could see her playing the part. Especially because she's younger. Although obviously elves don't age, so it doesn't make much of a difference.
Yeah, that's okay. That's one thing I actually don't know. Do they like start off as children and then just kind of stop at a certain point, or are they just like how does it work?
I think they grow normally and then they stop for like centuries and then continue on, then stop for centuries and then eventually just stop. Period.
Okay, yeah, I always figured it was something like that.
And of course, if you go to the Undying Lands, if you go to the green fields, then you don't age at all. So that's where Bilbo. The sad fact is Bilbo's going to live all of eternity until like their version of Ragnarok as that hobbled old man.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
he's
Well,
gonna be he's gonna be a senile old man for thousands of years to come.
they seem to have. He seemed happy though. You know what? He seemed pretty happy. So, I guess and when we see him in the beginning of the films, he's pretty like depressed and shit. So as long as he's happy, man, fuck it. I'm also really happy that Gimli got to like. That's a big fucking deal that a dwarf got to go
Yeah,
to
he
the
was the only
Undying
dwarf
Lands.
to ever go, and they were also the last two to leave Middle Earth. The sad fact, they don't really mention it, but the sad fact is the dwarfs must have all gone extinct probably at some point in the Fourth Age.
Yeah, it's clear that it's like kind of an
On the
origin story,
downwards.
and yeah, like they just delved into the mountains and they were never. So I mean, it's possible that they just like went deeper and deeper and then just never came back up, and they're not dead, which I
Yeah,
would
they
hope
took
for
back
them.
Moria and they moved out of the Glittering Halls. I think they like now own massive chunks of the Misty Mountains, but there's not that many of them, and they don't. I just don't see them growing. It's how Tolkien explained that there's no like other races left on
Mhm.
Middle Earth.
Did
Uh,
you sorry to interrupt, but did you read that the new shadow or whatever, a new shadow or whatever it's called, one of the, where he like kind of like fiddled around with the idea of writing past the point that he left off. He kind of fucked around with an idea for a sequel. It's only a couple of pages, but it's pretty interesting. But I kind of see why he abandoned it.
Interesting. Um, like I know it goes on for a little while after the events. Like there is a storyline. I think it's Aragorn's grandson is like the last known king, and that's kind of where like the history kind of trails off. But there is like a future, but it's like a centuries later future where Melkor escapes that prison, and all the
Yeah,
heroes
yeah,
come back and all the villains come back. And remember, this all of Middle Earth is designed to teach Melkor a lesson,
it's
which
crazy, man.
which Iluvatar, dude, there's so much suffering in between there. Maybe just tell your son what was wrong. Um, but yeah, I know I have no, I like I have. I don't know that much level of it. Like I've read some of those letters that he responded to fans. Like the most obvious one is the Eagles. He didn't want them to be like a taxi service, which is stupid. Just have them as a taxi service. Find some excuse, like the Nazgul would rip apart the Eagles, you know. But
Oh, sorry, I didn't realize I was muted. I've actually heard some pretty good, really good rebuttals for that theory. I can't think of all of them off the top of my head, but It
Well, he
actually,
didn't rebuttal any of them. That was his answer. Like his answer was simply, I don't like. I didn't want them to be a taxi service, which is so
yeah.
stupid. Because all right, fine, you as a writer wouldn't want that. So come up with some excuse. Instead, they have to go back and look after their eggs. Apparently, okay. Um. Oh shit! There's something about the Christchurch suit in here. Well, um. New Zealand government reassurance the country was safe to film following the Christchurch mosque shooting in 2019. Potential effects of Brexit in Scotland. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I can imagine this all kind of really fucked shit up. Um, filming, economic development, Mister. You know they actually have New Zealand has a rings minister.
I've heard that. Yeah, it's really
Anything
cool
related
actually.
to it, they just immediately focus on, which they might need to, because you must have heard about the labor dispute that went on.
No, no, I didn't actually.
You never watched Lindsay Ellis's two-parter where she went down to New Zealand to talk to some of the cast and crew.
No.
Okay, so the long and short of it is, well, the short of it anyway, is that the economy was boomed after the movies, as you can imagine, and tons of people were looking forward to Jackson coming back, but instead he decided to film it elsewhere due to budgetary constraints, and they were desperate to get them back, and they were promised they'd come back, and they never did.
You're
So
saying the Hobbit wasn't filmed in New
yeah, The
Zealand?
Hobbit was never filmed. Wasn't filmed anywhere near into the same level, and
Yeah,
there
because
were
I knew like some of the shit, like Christopher Lee couldn't travel and shit because he was so damn old. So I know that they had to like shoot some shit independently with him. But I didn't. I figured most of it would be shot there. That's crazy.
now if I'm right, they did it in. Hold on, I'm hearing. I'm hearing. Wiki. Um, Hobbit movie. Hobbit, 1937. Yeah, 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 yeah. Hobbit movies. Hobbit trilogy, Desolation of Smog, and Five Armies. They either didn't film it there or they brought their own crews in.
Ah, yeah, I could see that being an issue.
Um, they might have shot there. Let's see, cast, production. It was a long time between the two, wasn't it? Between the Return of the King and the Hobbit.
You know, I understand the criticisms of those movies, but I actually really enjoyed the first one. I just honestly, it should not have been a trilogy. That's my biggest criticism of those films. And
The Hobbit films.
yeah,
Yeah, same.
I don't know why the fuck they did that. Two movies, sure, but not
No,
three.
one film. That's all you really need.
Yeah, I mean,
It was so stretched, and it was so.
and like, why'd you bring Legolas into? Like, I get it's cool to see him back, but like, I don't know. It's just, and like, I really dislike the scene where they were jumping around the barrels, but at the same time, like, I've heard it explained like you're kind of viewing it through like Bilbo's lens, like a whimsical lens, so things look a little more fantastical, which I kind of like that explanation. But there are times where it just feels very tonally inconsistent with the original films, and it bothers me.
You know what? Until they make a Tom Bombadil movie, I am just not going to be interested.
Dude, a Tom Bombadil, like I would be interested like a little mini series, like a little Tom Bombadil mini series. That'd be fucking
Who
sick.
would you get to play Tom Bombadil?
Oh God, Pimp Muck. No, I'm just kidding.
Bombadil.
I'm not sure. I'd have to really think about that. I'm not sure, honestly.
Looks like we got the chatter moving. Hold on, let's have a look. Legolas Joker, Studio Force Legolas, and multiple movies. Yeah, that was the studio's. Because the studio, the Legolas is marketable, and that's what it's all about. I mean, it could be worse. It could have been bought off by Disney.
No, I don't even want to think about it. I don't even want to think
And it
about it.
still could in the future, especially after if there's like a flop or two, the price will just plummet, and Disney be like, "Oh, you're mine now, bitch."
Yeah, I hope that Amazon holds on tight, unless Disney buys Amazon, and then the world is literally over. If Disney buys Amazon,
Jeff
we're fucked.
Bezos is offered anything in the world, so he asks for Finland, just the country of Finland.
Yeah,
Give me
yeah, fuck
6 months
that.
and I can make it happen. um, I joke, but I think he owns some islands, so.
Oh, I'm sure he does. I mean, dude, his fucking yachts alone are basically islands. They're huge. It's
Mm.
ridiculous.
And yet, I guarantee you, when he dies, there's going to be so many creditors who pop out of the woodwork that he never paid. Because the exact same thing happened with Steve Jobs.
Oh, I don't doubt it. Yeah.
Like, when a lot of these like celebrities die, especially the really wealthy ones, you usually find out just how little they would like spend their money. In the case of Steve Jobs, that huge yacht he was making when he had cancer, and he thought he could finish it before he died. He left it unfulfilled, and I think it cost his family something like 15 million.
Oh my god.
Just and they took the yacht as well. Like they also took it back. Um, but I honestly like I could eventually see like Elon Musk getting bought off by like Tesla getting bought off by someone, and I'm
No,
what.
dude, not Tesla. Elon Musk. He sells his ass, bro.
Yeah, like it's pretty obvious Elon has a price. Can I come on Joe Rogan some more? um, what I'm worried about though is like some sort of like Shanghai consortium that's backed by the Chinese government. Now I'm entering Alex Jones territory, but like they are some of the biggest purchasers worldwide. Those Chinese companies.
They also fuck with entertainment. Like there's so many things that are altered about movies just so they'll be more successful on the Chinese market, and it's such
The
bullshit, man.
they had the balls to have the first kiss, gay kiss on in Star Wars for our markets, and they were publisher. They would be so proud of it, and then they covered it up for the Chinese one.
I don't doubt it, man.
Yeah,
It's
that
fucking
was the last
ridiculous.
one, the really shitty, the Rise of the Skywalker or whatever the hell it's called.
Mhm.
Like it's just, I mean, like if you're gonna have like your first homoerotic kiss in a Star Wars film, cool, great, push those boundaries, but have the balls to stick down to your convictions. So you realize, oh, they don't have convictions; they've got shareholders,
Mhm.
and a lot of those shareholders come out of Beijing. So,
It's insincere. It shows that they don't actually care
like, wait
about.
for Gay Pride Month this year. It's just going to be a sea of gay flags on icons on Twitter, and then moment it hits strikes midnight, it all goes back to normal.
Yeah, I think that they're they're being more progressive in the U.S. market because
America's
they can
becoming more
actually,
progressive.
yeah, and they can get money that way. And there's a whole generation of people that want to see progressive media, which is awesome. I support it 100%. But then when you turn around in the other market and censor that, that shows you don't actually care about the rights of those people. You care about
No,
money. So
of course
you're
not.
totally willing to flip it for whatever circumstance arises, and it's bullshit.
I've always found um, the end of the day, like anyone who considers like the H Bomber guy did a video on this called. It was like companies are not your friends, and they're not your friends. Like it's better that they do promote shit. Like when BLM was going on, they were trying their best to look woke and supportive. But at the exact same time, like the companies themselves are half the problem because as you well know
Yeah.
it's nowhere near as much um about race as it is about class.
Oh yeah.
It's and like who's promoting this, who's gentrifying half of the world for for their employees who are like middle class, middle management and up. It's the companies. Like they're the ones that create company towns that are more or less walled, gated fiefdoms. Um, have you seen the? I think Microsoft was redesigning a town from the ground up for its employees, and
Hear about that.
I think it has like if not a town wall, then this huge almost. I think it's like a water like it's a water treatment thing that goes through. It's like a cistern, but it looks like a medieval moat, almost like the pores stay out unless you're
Yeah.
a hipster who's making like 100,000 a year. You know, like you can fuck off, poor. We don't want to get infected by you.
Like,
But you know that's just the world we're living in, and that's one reason why people like you. And here's a segue. This is why people like you making your art is so cool.
thank you. Yes, make more art and fucking skip in the fields. And I don't know. I lost. I don't know where I was going with that.
Were
I
you
gotta
going
be
for a box reference there, where he burst into a classroom at one point and threw up all their school books and demanded they go out and have fun in the fields?
yeah. Let's go with that.
Yeah, I only remember that from Celebrity Deathmatch. Yeah, man, it's been good talking to you again, but you sound like you're about to pass out.
Yeah, I've been just working, but I had a really good time, man. I appreciate you having me on and showing the video.
Absolutely. The video is, of course, in the description down below, where if you click on it, then you can see some pretty fucking bomb bass beats.
And remember, you have a chance to win some money over there. So go over and like comment and share it, and you might win $100 and some rare shit.
There we go. A little bit of shilling here. Make sure to. This is what Marshall Manson said 2 days ago, because it's pinned by Marshall Manson. Make sure to comment. When this video hits 50,000 views, I will select one random comment and send you $100 plus free merch, free rare merch. So you need to share it. You get to 50,000, and you can get your money. You see, you're doing the Andrew Yang thing right now. You're appealing to people's base greed to promote some good shit.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah. You see, I've got nothing against anyone who knows how to work people for the good.
Ooh.
And this is the good. And you know what else is we good? You getting some sleep. So
Sorry, man.
yeah, it has been chill as fuck, and I'd love to do this with someone else in the future. Again, if anyone else has any projects they want to throw out my way, it doesn't have to be music. It can be movies. It can be comics. It can be whatever the fuck you're into. So long as you've got something that we can chill over, we can chew the cud over for a little bit. Send it my way, and I have no problem to support you, unless it's something heinous, like say a Bible to support pineapple on pizza. You know, go on, say it. I know you want to.
I like pineapple on pizza.
Louder. Commit to your
I
fucking
like
principles.
some pineapple on pizza with some bacon or ham. It's the shit, man.
You like your Hawaiian tripe, don't you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I've got no problem with anyone admitting their faults, which are many after today, apparently. That's good talking to you, man.
Good talking to you, man. I appreciate having me on.
I probably won't be streaming tomorrow, so I'll see you guys on Tuesday for some tyranny. Here on the tweet. Oh, is there anything you're doing in the next few days?
I think I will be on the Geek Room next Friday, so check that out. And yeah, that's it.
Okay, so be sure to check out the Geek Room if you want to hear more from Marshall. Or better yet, just follow him here on the old YouTubes. Or better yet, still follow him someplace else. And while you're at it, follow me and maybe join my Discord. And again, big shout out to Guns for that very generous donation. If I haven't really talked about this, Dono, but if we do hit the 30, I will do a 24-hour stream. Because I haven't done one this year, and as we all well know, it's one of the few things I do on a regular basis because I have nothing but free time. I need to get a cat or something. Just maybe learn a second language. Anyway, it has been so fun talking to you. Have yourselves a fantastic evening, and if you see me talking throughout the night, ignore me because I have all this vodka left, and there won't be any left of it. So this is the last we shall hear in a coherent state from me.